Hi guys, this is Dr. Marshall. This is the first video in um, the 0-1 Structure of Anatomy and Physiology Part 2 discussion. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming you got here by coming to the home page and then clicking on assignments and then going to participation, the Structure of Anatomy and Physiology Part 2, clicking on that. And then you also need to have this worksheet and this graphic organizer in front of you as you're going through these, because you'll need to take pictures of these and submit them to me as evidence of completing this. And then hopefully you've also clicked on the Nearpod and started the Nearpod, so you can watch the video and do the Nearpod at the same time. And you can just flip back and forth, right? You're going to have both the video and the Nearpod up. And put your name in and join the lesson. And this first slide here is just kind of a pre-starter kind of thing, sort of thinking about what we're going to be doing here in this discussion. We have three goals in order to make our interaction with the environment successful. Hopefully you agree that we're interacting with the environment, and as biologic organisms, we want that interaction with the environment to be successful. And what goals does it take to accomplish that? We acquire energy in biomaterials, we maintain a stable internal environment, and we persist in the environment as an individual and as a species. And then we have three sets of functions that accomplish these goals. And what I want you to do is match the set of functions that accomplishes acquiring energy in biomaterial and the set of functions that matches maintaining a stable internal environment. Okay, and you can't get these wrong. They will not let you match wrong pairs. So just walk your way through this to see which goals match which sets of functions, and then go on to the next slide. Once you finish that, it'll let you go on to the next slide. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. Anytime you need to have some input or you're wanting to write stuff down on your worksheet or whatever, you can pause the video and do that, and then turn the video back on and we'll move on. But as you go through the video, you'll also have to advance the Nearpod to match my Nearpod. Okay, so I'm going to move to the next slide. And our learning target for this is that you're going to understand the importance of and be able to use an organizational framework to organize content in a useful, meaningful way. This is the purpose of this discussion. And I said why knowing what you need to know, and especially in the format of a graphic organizer, enhances learning. If we can organize all the things you're going to learn about over the course of the year at the beginning, that's going to enhance your learning. And you will be able to create a graphic organizer that organizes the content of this course without notes. That's our goal. And I've also given you a link to a really good short article about how and when to use graphic organizers. If you're interested in that, follow that link. It's a really good short article to help out. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Another learning target is that you will be able to state the difference between an anabolic and catabolic process. These are important terms describing biochemical processes that we'll want to talk about, and you'll correctly identify and use these terms in various types of questions regarding these processes. And then another learning target, you'll be able to define the term homeostasis and illustrate the use of positive and negative feedback in maintaining homeostasis. You'll understand that homeostatic feedback occurs in response to a stressor, that is, when a homeostatic system becomes unbalanced. So this is talking about body systems that we have to cause changes that will correct imbalances. Okay, so if some stressor causes us to be out of balance in a certain way, these homeostatic body control mechanisms will bring us back into balance. And this is a major goal of all biologic organisms. Homeostasis, the maintaining of a stable internal environment, is a goal of all biologic organisms. And you'll list the major steps in a homeostatic control mechanism in the correct sequence and correctly identify instances of negative and positive feedback, and you'll correctly use glucose control and childbirth as examples. Okay, so we've already talked about the idea of anatomy, the structure of things, and we talked a lot about how structure reflects physiology, structure reflects function. Well, this is the function part of it. The physiology is the function part of it. So the other component of this course, aside from anatomy, is physiology, and this is defined as the study of how the body and its parts work or function. And remember that to store vocabulary words, if you click on this, that'll take you to the vocab page, and you can record the definitions that you need in that spot. The overriding theme of physiology and the concept that will help us organize most of our thinking about anatomy and physiology is that living organisms are constantly interacting with their environment. Okay, so right up front, our core concept, our core idea is that we are interacting with our environment. That is our core goal. And everything we need to know about physiology and anatomy centers around how do I be successful? How do I become successful in this interaction with the environment? Okay. This environment's strikingly different from our internal body environment. Everything we can learn about living organisms is geared towards making this interaction successful. So why not gear my learning towards whatever it is that's going to make my interaction with the environment successful? Okay, so that's going to be our process here. So from this single point or idea of interacting with the environment, we can ask ourselves appropriate questions that allow us to build a concept map outlining those concepts that will guide many of our efforts during the year. I can't emphasize enough how important the skill of taking a central broad theme and breaking it into smaller and smaller, more specific parts is in helping you to organize your thinking. And if you take this effort seriously, you can apply it to a lot of other situations as well, and it will be very helpful. Okay, now I will show you this concept map here in just a second. But again, the central theme that is going to help us organize all of our thinking is all organisms are constantly interacting with the environment surrounding them. You would agree with that, right? You're interacting with your environment surrounding you all the time. Even when you're not aware of it, your body is aware of it, and it's cataloging all kinds of environmental clues, and your brain is processing all kinds of environmental information, making sure that everything is constant. So we have this concept map here, and over here on the left-hand side in the Nearpod presentation, you can see that I've got a second slide for this page. If I scroll down, this is my concept map, okay? And this is my concept map, and I want you to put the term interaction with environment as our main thing. This is our starting point, okay? And I can create this really complex looking diagram just by following some important clues here. So put interaction with environment in your concept map or your graphic organizer, and then move on to the next slide. Okay, so when you hear the phrase interacting with the environment, what kind of things come to your mind about the environment? Okay, I think about things that have the opportunity to destroy me, and I think about powerful things. The environment has the ability to just grab a hold of us and destroy us if my body's mechanisms aren't able to maintain stability in that context. So if I scroll down here, here's some of the things that I think are powerful, and I think of what the environment has the ability to do to me. Okay, a thunderstorm, or nature tearing apart a large bridge, or nature causing a drought. This is a picture of the Dust Bowl. Nature causing destruction of a forest. This is Mount St. Helens, the volcano in Washington State that erupted and destroyed the land for miles around it. And then this is just a powerful waterfall, and trying to navigate through that to accomplish our goals. Okay, so these are the images that would come up if you clicked on this in the notes. Okay, so these are the things that I think we're up against. Okay, but the question is, what is it that we are battling for? Okay, we're interacting with the environment. What is it that we're battling for? If all organisms, including humans, are constantly interacting with their environment, it may occur to you that an important question regarding this interaction is, what are the goals? If I'm interacting with the environment, what are the goals of this interaction? And I think there are three of these. And I'm going to use the notes feature of Nearpod. So you can take notes here. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. You can take notes and you can have them sent to your email account. And I'm going to do that, j.marshall@summitacademyschools.org. Okay, and once I enter that, then I can type in here, and the three goals that we want, and this is what you're going to put on your worksheet, okay? And you're going to put this on your graphic organizer. But number one, our first goal is to acquire energy and biomaterials. In order for my interaction with the environment to be successful, I have to acquire energy and biomaterials. And I'm saying both of these things because not all biomaterials that I need really involve energy, okay? Not all biomaterials that I need require energy. So acquire energy, and maybe I should say other biomaterials, but just acquire energy and biomaterials. That's my first goal. The second goal that I have is to maintain a stable internal environment. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. Everything inside my body needs to be stable. I need to have the same temperature. I need to have the same oxygen levels. I need to have the same sodium levels and potassium levels. Everything in my body needs to run at a stable state. Okay, and we'll find out that the word for maintaining a stable internal environment is homeostasis. And then the third thing that I need to do is I need to persist as an individual. In other words, I need to stay alive long enough to continue to grow from a single-celled organism into a fetus, into an infant, into a child, into an adult. I need to persist. I need to stick around long enough to develop as an individual. So I have to persist as an individual, and I have to persist as a species. So I have to persist as an individual and as a species. I don't want my species to die out either. And these three goals, and I can scroll down here and see how they fit into this diagram. Goal 1, extract energy and biomaterials. Goal 2, maintain stable internal environment. Goal 3, persist in the environment as an individual and as a species. These three goals cover everything. This is all inclusive. There's nothing that will help make my interaction with the environment successful that's not part of these three goals. So when I say interaction with the environment, what are my goals of this interaction? These cover everything. Okay, now my videos can't go longer than 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to stop this video right now because it's right at 15 minutes, and then stop this video, but keep the Nearpod open, and or unless you want to take a break. If you want to leave the Nearpod, you can click exit and then come back to it at a later time. It won't take you back to the same point, but it won't eliminate anything that you've done either. Okay, so go to the next video.